we are a few days away to find out if the TikTok ban is actually going to go ahead or not. So it's still uncertain. It does look like TikTok will be banned in US, so it doesn't apply to Australia at this point. But users already started exploring backup options, plans B, and what we are seeing right now is that the Xa Hongshu, and I'm not a Mandarin speaker, so maybe I'm not perfectly pronouncing. So that's the official name of the app that seems like a first choice for the US content creator and users. And even though the app itself doesn't have an official translation in English, the little red book or the red note is like English translation of the app or the names of the app that we've been seeing mentioned in the news and in kind of reports. So majority of users kind of chose that one, but then there is the other one which you mentioned is Lemonade. So that's a second choice at the moment.
If these originate out of China, will they not fall under the ban that is due to come into force on Sunday?
That's an interesting question and a good point. So technically they won't. So the way that legislation is written and the law that will ban TikTok, it's only applicable to TikTok. But it would be interesting to see how legislators respond to it, because as we know, the main concern that was a driving force behind adopting this legislation was a concern about Chinese government or the Chinese Communist Party having access through the app to the personal data and the personal information of the users of TikTok in United States. So they gave them, until January 20 to either divest. So the ByteDance, the company, the parent company or the company behind TikTok, they would have to divest from their operation in US or face the ban. So in a way, users are responding almost like in a protest to the government. So, indirectly they are saying, well, you didn't want us to share our data with one Chinese app, so we're gonna just use and share our data willingly with another one. So it will be interesting if this trend continues and Red Note or the Lemonade indeed become like a TikTok successor or the next big app based in China. It will be interesting if the legislature then decide to expand the law so that these other apps are banned as well. But at the moment, the ban would only apply to TikTok and not any other app, regardless if it's based in US or in China.
If it does happen, Milovan, I mean, are there American or European or Australian companies that could benefit? I mean, I'm thinking if you need to post your content somewhere, if that's your business, where would you go? I mean, Meta, YouTube?
That's a good question. So I guess the content creators, so what they want the following. So that's exactly why they are so concerned and why they are upset, justifiably, about the potential ban, because a lot of the content creators, they actually amassed a large number of followings on TikTok. And as we know from some other examples in the past, transitioning, so it's easy for a maybe content creator itself to themselves to move to another app, but to bring over all your audience and all the people that followed you on TikTok platform to follow you on another platform, that's a whole new challenge, and usually that's not so easy. So I would say that some of them might try with US-based platforms, so Instagram or Facebook. Any other platform that is out there. But as we are seeing at the moment, at least, there is this kind of like a rush to find a similar Chinese-based app like Red Note or Lemonade.
Of course, the other important people on all apps, but TikTok is one of them, are advertisers, people who want to sell their wares. Would it be wise then for Australian small businesses to get ahead of the game and start looking at Red Note and Lemonade?
Yes, I mean, they could to just try to get ahead of the game. Obviously, it would be good to try to stay on top of that, but it's not very clear what is going to happen. So first of all, we have to wait until Monday and see if the ban is actually go ahead or not. And the second thing, one interesting thing about especially the Red Note is that it's only available in Chinese or Mandarin language. So the app itself is not translated in English. So even the users who are trying to kind of be early adopters and to move there now, they have to navigate through all these like features, like, you know, which button do I press and how I do that. So they use Google Translate, or they're using ChatGPT even to kind of like do the image recognition and help them with that, which is fine. And there is definitely maybe some enthusiastic and keen users who will be open to experiment and play with it. But I can't really see the mass adoption unless the app developers actually make that conscious decision to step into the Western markets, and then that would mean make a translation of their app and appropriate for our field. I think one thing that would be kind of like significant to mention as well is definitely that even though if the ban go ahead next week on Monday, it would only apply in the United States. So the users in Australia, for example, and in Europe, they would still be able to access and use TikTok. So it's not gonna directly sort of have immediate, at least, effect on them. With that said, there would probably be some effect down the track, because obviously US is such a large market, and there would be a lot of content creators and content coming from the US. So if all of that is removed, even though it's available in Australia and maybe Europe as well, the experience of users would be diminished because they would have less content to enjoy. So maybe then we would see sort of voluntarily abandoning the app, because it's just not as enjoyable anymore if there is not the same amount of quality content on the app itself. So that's definitely going to have implications for the small businesses and advertisers and all of that. Although, as I said, a lot of this is a bit unknown, because we still have to see over the next couple of days what's going to happen with the ban.
Yeah, very interesting. 19th of January is when the Supreme Court ruling comes in, so we will wait and see. Milovan Savic, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.